Justin, considering all the resources you poured into improving your offense, you got a big-time quarterback, freshman. You brought in basically a whole new staff. What's your assessment of how your offense has performed, and in particular your offensive line?
Yeah, inconsistent. I think that's the best way. There's been some really good moments and drives. We haven't done it consistently enough. I think that's the entire team.
8 games into the season, how do you explain that? I mean, why does that continue to happen, do you think?
Yeah, it's usually not one thing. It's a matter of us making sure the players know what's expected of them, and then them being able to take the technique and the assignment and execute it on game day at a higher level. And so we have to help them get that done.
Defensively, are you expecting to take more of a role in terms of controlling game plan scheme, or I guess keep the status quo as it is?
Yeah, we're not going to change roles on defense. The issues we had in the game, obviously we have to do a better job coaching, but we have to. Defense starts with leverage and tackling, and if you lose leverage, people are going to circle the defense. That if you don't tackle, you got to keep leverage and tackle on defense. And offensively, you have to snap the ball, you have to block the other team, and then catch it when we throw it. Those are the big things that showed up last week.
One of the only, chaotic scenarios at the end when Devin comes in the game, run the ball. Obviously, you don't have timeouts after Wilcox. What you were seeing from your perspective, and if they're on reflection, if there's anything you would have done different.
Yeah, that's kind of a unique scenario. You don't have a timeout. You have to get the substitution in. There's still some time, Yeah.
Justin, what do you make of Virginia? They're 7-1 undefeated in your conference, and yet they've had 4 games in a row that could have gone either way. Is it a sign that they're vulnerable, or is it a sign that a good team makes plays to win games?
I think that's it. They've played the last 4 games, I believe. 3 of them are OT, and they're making the plays they need to make to win it. And the other one was, I think they got a safety against Washington State to win the game, essentially, late in the 4th.
What's your impressions of them?
A very good team. They find ways to win. Their offense, the quarterback's making really good plays. The running backs are good players. They got a couple wideouts that play well. The tight end and the O-line work well together. So defensively, play a lot of guys up front, really big on the edges. They got a really big corner, and then there's a safety that's a fantastic player. Makes a lot of plays for him.
What kind of juice do you expect the fans to give you? I think it's the first ranked team since Miami came in last year, so just...
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, early kick, which is great. I know people enjoy the early kick, and it'd be great to have as many people out there as possible to make some noise on third downs. Virginia's an excellent team. Our guys are going to be excited to play. Obviously coming off last week, it's a disappointing loss. Not playing. We had a chance to win. We just didn't. Certainly defensively and offensively shot ourselves in the foot and weren't able to get it done. So it's another opportunity against a ranked team at home.
When you're on the precipice of getting a bowl bid, or at least getting bowl eligible, how important is that? With November coming up, you got 4 chances to do it.
Every game's important. I think somebody brought this up last week. Every game is critically important, and there's only so many you get. You work year-round for a limited number of opportunities, so we got to make the most of every single one of them.
What do you make of Morris?
Really good player. He's a football guy, grew up in a football family, and he's playing really well for him. Throws it, runs it, gets him in the right play. He does a good job.
Did Jaron play better last week than he had maybe a couple of games? It seemed like his decision-making was a little better, didn't have any turnovers.
Yeah, hasn't turned the ball over a couple weeks. I thought he made some phenomenal throws. So we have to catch the ball more consistently. We have to clean up the snaps. We got to block better and protect him better. There's things that he can certainly do better, but some of the balls he threw were elite. He does that every week.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like he caught the ball really well in the first couple of games. Not so much in the last couple of games.
Yeah.
Any common thread there?
Yeah, I wish there was one thing that we could point to. I mean, there's guys that traditionally have been sure-handed. We got to keep drilling it. We got to keep working those contested catch drills and catching in traffic, and we got to keep drilling that. We got to continue blocking at O-line and on the perimeter. We had some perimeter plays where we had really good numbers that we have to get more yardage out of. And like I said, on defense, it's everybody doing their job, playing with leverage and tackling. It's hard to play good defense without leverage and tackling, regardless of what the scheme calls for.
It seems like Tron Grizel was the guy who made contested catches over the last couple of years, but he's had a harder time lately. Is there anything going on with him that you guys can help him fix?
I think we're just going to continue to keep practicing and work with him on the contested catches like we are the rest of the receivers and tight ends. So when those opportunities come their way, that they're ready for it. And I know Tron wants to catch it. I know Hamper does. I know all the guys do. Mason, we just have to take advantage, when that ball is hitting us in the chest or, right near our face mask, so we can take advantage of those touchdowns. And, I think we had one late to Jordan King, who's been traditionally very, very sure-handed. So unfortunate. I know they don't want to not make the plays. We just have to, find ways to make them. Yep.
Jesus has been the exception to that. Can you talk about the way he's played? Yeah,
he's getting the ball a lot. We're finding, I think the offensive coach is doing a really good job of finding different ways to get it to him. He can do something with it after the catch. He's probably right now he'd be the best guy we have in terms of, after the ball is caught, that getting that yards after catch. And so getting him out of the backfield, getting it to him down the field, getting it to him on the perimeter with the screen game. So he's doing a really good job.
A lot of quick stuff to him. Is it almost like a running play in terms of percentage?
Yeah, some of that for sure. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be real honest, there's a lot of throws that Jaron's making that are high percentage for him. Putting the ball on guys. And so whether it's the quick game out there, perimeter screens, but even, slants and digs and seam routes. We just got to do a better job catching and blocking up front, because when we're able to do that, Jaron's going to put the ball on them. So we got to, even the down the field throws can be higher percentage.
You making any changes in your O-line?
Potentially, yeah.
Is it fair to say that Lamar and Tyson are in a competition for center?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes this week. Yeah, both we need to perform better there. We got to get the play started with the snap.
And then you've been a very successful, obviously, defensive back as a player. What have you kind of shown from your own personal experience to kind of help the defensive backs, especially in the run game? Me as a player, us coaches as players, doesn't resonate with our players. They want to know how we can help them, and how we can help them is by continuing to rep technique and angles, and ultimately tackling. There is certainly technique involved in tackling. Athleticism is a part of tackling. You have to be a good athlete, because if a person's not a good athlete, you could teach them all the drills and all the technique you want, they're not going to be a very good tackler. A lot of tackling has to do with how badly you want to get the guy on the ground. And so I've just seen time and time again, there's technique, there's athletic ability, which is a big part, and then the want to or pride in getting the guy on the ground is critically important. So we're going to continue to drill that. We're going to keep working tackling. We worked it again today. We're going to work it again tomorrow. We're going to work it again the day after that and the day after that until we get to the game and we have more opportunities to tackle again. So when the ball carrier has the ball, that we find a way to get him on the ground.
This is more of a kind of I don't know if it's a big picture, but just kind of a mentality thing. This is the first time this year you've gone through a loss of a game that you really probably, you certainly should have won. You went through 4 of those in a row last season.
Mm-hmm.
Just human nature, it's hard to let go of that, but you got to let go of it to get ready to play Virginia. How do you balance
any of that
frustration but then saying, you know what, that's enough. We got to get to the.
It's the beauty of football is you can channel that emotion however you choose to. So you can channel it in a way that's fuel for your next meeting, walkthrough, practice. And again, the great thing about football is you can do that on the field. If you have some anger inside of you based on what just happened, awesome. You can go exert that on the opponent or the guy at practice. Okay. The other way to go is to go inward and feel sorry for yourself and, put your chin down and pout, and that doesn't do any good. So we encourage everybody. It's an emotional game. Totally understood. So let's use the emotion to fuel what needs to happen next so that doesn't happen again.
How did Kendrick Raphael play, considering his normal backups weren't available?
Yeah, he played solid. He had a couple good runs in there. Pass pro can continue to improve, but he had a couple good runs in there. Yeah.
Matt on the phone. Question for Coach.
Sorry about that. Yeah, just you talked about turnover margin a couple weeks ago, starting now, but how critical is that to your success down the stretch of the season here?
Huge. Traditionally, when we've won the turnover margin, we've had a really, really good chance of winning. This is one of the only games. We were +1 in the turnover margin and blocked a punt, okay? And traditionally, that would give you a great chance to win. And we still had a chance to win. We didn't convert at the end of the game in regulation to win, but it goes to show you how poorly we played in other aspects, whether it was on defense, especially in the second half, and offensively, at the start of the game and in the third. So when turnover margin is always going to be a huge emphasis for us. The more times you have the ball versus them, the better chance you have to win.